This is One on One.
Brought to you by
NJM.
We are joined, pleased to be joined by Lynnette Khalfani-Cox, who is the author of College Secrets, How to Save Money, Cut College Costs, and Graduate Debt-Free. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Is this possible? Is this really possible?
Not only is it possible.
By the way, before you go any further, I want to say you're co-founder of
.com.
.com.
There you
Thank
go.
you very
Yeah.
much. Always
That's
branding.
right.
I love that.
Good deal.
Is it possible to do all this?
I think that not only is it possible, I'm living proof that it's possible. I made a claim in this book, and it came out at the end of 2014. So this was before my own daughter, who's 17, who's about to go off to college in the fall, was accepted to any schools. But I made the claim that if you follow my tips in College Secrets, a family could save anywhere from $20,000 to as much as $200,000 over the course of a 4-year education. We're about to do just that. My daughter got $40,000 in aid from her school that she'll be attending.
Right.
She got an out-of-state tuition waiver, which is one of the things I'm really pushing families to learn about how to get those. She got scholarships through the Business Honors Program. She had fly-in visits where the school flew her out there, so it wasn't on my dime. So we saved a ton of money. I'm tallying it all up. It's about $175,000 thus far over her 4 years.
But
that
don't
we
you
know
think
we've
the
saved.
key to saving all the money is having you as a mom?
She lucked out, no doubt about it. I think she
had the
lucked
gene
out.
pool going here.
Well, you know, it's great for a parent like me who's going to be a little bit of a helicopter parent and who pushes and who, you know, advocates. But a lot of it is just knowing and doing some of the heavy lifting, and that's what I did for
Well, let's do this, because we're seen in the tri-state area, but we're based in New Jersey. Can we talk college costs in the Garden State?
Right.
Now, I graduated from, my undergraduate graduated at Montclair and State, and it was a college then. Now it's a big university, which a euphemism for we charge more. So, and then I did my graduate and doctoral work at Rutgers, which was pretty affordable at the time. And no disrespect to my friend at Rutgers, it ain't cheap anymore. Even the public state-funded schools are not cheap. Talk about it.
Well, Rutgers, as you know right now, is about $25,000 all in when you look at tuition, fees, room and board. Needless to say, folks who are coming from out of state, they're paying a little bit more than that.
They should be.
But, well, they should be, especially because the aid is not there, as you know, as it had been in years past.
Right.
That's right. And that's one of the things that's driving costs. If you look at the trends over the last decade or so, we've seen tuition go up almost 25%. And that obviously has far outpaced people's incomes, which have been stagnant or even falling.
Right.
And so because we've seen not only rising tuition prices, but housing creeping up, books and supplies creeping up, all this stuff, everything has gone up. You're seeing a lot more families with their students coming out with debt. And that's a big problem. Debt is up about 40% over the past decade. And it's crazy when you look at the numbers. It's about 1.2 trillion with a T in student loan debt outstanding right now.
Do you believe that, in fact, sorry for interrupting, do you believe that, in fact, college debt is the next major financial crisis this country is about to face?
I don't believe it's the next. I believe it's already here. We just
How bad is this? And don't just do the numbers, because people can't relate to the millions, billions, trillions. They can't. They don't put the number in context.
They can relate to.
Go ahead.
They can relate to the fact that student loan debt is holding back an entire generation. They can relate to the fact that the typical 20-something is saying, can I afford to get married? Can I afford to take on this job? Do I need to get a high-paying Wall Street job when really my heart is that I want to be a teacher or a social worker? They can relate.
But I can't because
I gotta
can't
pay
pay
off
my
these student
debt.
loans.
Right.
Yeah, so I have to get a high-paying job. It may not be what I really want to do. They can relate to the fact that the student loan debt is holding people back from becoming homeowners, and a lot of millennials are like, look, I gotta pay off this debt, this credit card debt, this student loan debt, before I can think about achieving that part of the American dream, becoming a homeowner. So people can relate to the practical day-to-day. The people who are 30-something, the people who are 40-something like me, you can relate to the fact that I had student loan debt when I got out of school. I had $40,000.
You had 40.
$40,000 in student. It took me over 15 years. So I'm determined that my kids are not going to have student loans. And indeed, my daughter, the first one off to college again, just, you know, in a couple months, she's not going to have any student loans. But it's, you know, if you don't really know some of the strategies and kind of even what to ask for, you just be kind of hanging, you know, blowing in the wind.
Let's do that, because my strategy has always been, because we have 4 kids now,
God, yeah.
but 2 marriages, all the way from our 22-year-old who graduated from a great college and now is going to He just said to me, Dad, I want to go to graduate school, and I just saw the numbers there. Somehow I'm involved
You almost
in that.
fainted, right?
Yeah, but now I'm involved in that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure how that
Well,
happened.
you know New Jersey law, I won't even get into all this, but New Jersey law is that, parents are supposed to pay to support their kids. Even, you probably heard about that famous case where a girl sued her parents.
Yeah, I know.
And the kid's right to support extends to a parent's obligation to pay for college. So, you can talk about whether that's graduate school. No, I don't want to talk about that, but I'm just saying.
But I'm just saying also we have a
That son
10,
might
12,
come
and a 4.5-year-old. So here's my
right
point.
behind.
You got the college savings plan going.
Yep.
But here's what doesn't match up. I got the college savings plan for all the kids.
Right.
But then
529 plan?
529.
Perfect. Yep.
But here's the problem. I'm looking at your stuff and you talk about not just tuition. You say, Steve, forget about that. Audience, forget about that. Why don't you also add on to that other fees, parking fees, internship fees, tuition differential fees? What are you talking about?
Right.
Let's break it down.
Right. So this is the thing that I really want your viewers to know. When most parents and students, frankly, think about college costs, they typically think about what I call upfront college costs.
That was what I was saving
right.
for.
The tuition, the fees, the room and board, the books and supplies. That's the stuff, right?
That's right.
Well, in College Secrets, I talk about dozens of other expenses, what I call hidden costs that most families are totally ill-prepared to pay for. They don't even know about. Tuition differential, you mentioned, for example. This is a big one right now. Here's what this means. If you look on a school's website, say at Rutgers, say Montclair State, whatever college you take your pick, if your kid is going to major in something in the humanities, English, history major, social studies type of thing, the sticker price that you see, most people don't pay sticker price because they can get a scholarship, they can get a little tuition discount. But in general, the price that you see is for those majors or in liberal arts, stuff like that. If your kid is a STEM kid in science, technology, engineering, and math,
go ahead.
If they're in the arts, if they're in nursing, they're going to pay a surcharge.
More?
Yes. They pay, so anything, photography, drama, nursing, absolutely.
I don't see that in the advertisements. I don't see that.
Of course
in the college advertisements.
That's in the fine print. That's after they've got you there. There's always the hook in the fine print. The hook is what reels you in. The fine print is the sort of gotcha.
And that's the differential.
That's right.
Internship. Could you talk to me about parking fees?
Yes.
I found in my college it was like $500 for parking
Absolutely.
fees.
Nationwide, the average college generates about $635 per parking space. They're getting about $4 to $5 million a year in this. I actually did some homework on this just before I came on the show. Rutgers, Princeton, they're in the low ballpark, believe it or not. About $200
How about the
or so.
commuter schools?
Much more. When you look at places like Stevens Institute of Technology, some kids can't park on campus there anyway because space is at a premium. Those who do park off campus, they're paying about $105 a month. So $900+ dollars over the course. Leave that car at home. Take mass transit, carpool, use those ride-sharing car services, that kind of stuff. A car is a huge money drainer for any kid who's at school,
By the way, I'm gonna plug the
here or away.
I'm going to plug the book. That one more question. College Secrets: How to Save Money, Cut College Costs, and Graduate Debt-Free.
That's right.
I call it the Ivy League Harvard syndrome. All my friends think they have to send their kids to the best.
I know.
And then they graduate. They got $100,000, $200,000 debt.
I know.
If you want to say, listen, if your kid can get in and you want to do it, you should do it. That's great.
But
Is
not
it ROI, return on investment?
I don't think it's there, frankly. I think that there are so many great schools in this country. We have over 5,000 schools in this country, but we have over 2,500 four-year institutions that are in the not-for-profit sector, not the for-profit colleges.
Right.
You have a ton of great choices. My daughter got accepted to UVA, UT Austin, NYU, Virginia, just Fordham, a whole bunch. She ultimately chose UT Austin. I'm very happy.
Right.
Number 3 program for marketing in the country. She's going to do great. But really, she would have done well at any of these schools. You don't have to have that mentality like Ivy League or bust. Because the kids who are performing at that level, if your kid doesn't get into, say, Princeton, which is our Ivy League school here in Jersey,
I got rejected
would that
too.
person do just fine at another really high-level school? Absolutely. So don't think that that's
Some
the
of
case.
us went to Rutgers and we're still working.
And you're doing just great.
Well, in some people's eyes. Listen, Lynnette, I want to thank you so much for joining us. You're terrific.
Pleasure.
Make sure you come back again.
I definitely will.
All the best. Great guest on One-on-One.
My name is Carly Lloyd, and I have been with NJM since I first started driving. I'm a World Cup champion and 2-time Olympic gold medalist. If I could sum up NJM in one word, it would be extraordinary.
Extraordinary means being the best.
best at something, separating yourself from everybody else. I love being a part of NJM. They have the best insurance out there.
Join NJM's family of policyholders today. Get a quote now at startyournjm.com.
Also brought to you by
Englewood Hospital and Medical Center, the Give Something Back Foundation, and by
ShopRite Supermarkets.